All right, thank you for joining us. You are right on time if you've just tuned in, and it's Good Morning Nigeria live on the network service. Coming up next will be the newspaper review. Please don't go away. Chukwudi Okoli will soon join us.
All right, and Chukwudi Okoli has indeed joined us. Good morning, Chuks the boy.
Victor.
I almost didn't say it, but I said it.
No, it's always good to issue that reminder. But I know that I'm creaking in the wrong places now. How are you, Claire? Morning.
Good morning, Chukwudi. Good to see you and welcome.
Same here.
Yes, okay, so I have a new telegraph this morning, and it's leading with cheering news, if I may say so. Hardship protest, the worst now over, and that's coming from the federal government. Those stories you can read up on pages 2, 3, 17, 26, and 30. But it comes with 1 or 2, 3 riders. Says government committed to preventing recurrence, reassures on quick renovation of vandalized Kano ICT Park as Port Harcourt protesters vow to continue but peacefully. Now, there's widespread hunger, poverty. That's Bauchi governor. Tinubu hasn't addressed our demands, or your rights activist. Northern groups want amnesty for 1,000 arrested protesters. Seek 250 billion naira vocational training for youths and Almajiri. And you have the Minister of Youth, Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim there. That's the picture story. And Governor of Ondo State, Mr. Loki Ayedatiwa, during the Southwest Youth Stakeholders Summit. And it was organized by the Federal Ministry of Youth at the Coca-Cola Conference Hall. That's at the Governor's Office, Akure, on Tuesday. And other stories outside shows now. ECOWAS defense chiefs meet to prevent coup, stabilize democracy, as Badaru seeks collaboration against terrorism and others. And there are also other trending stories. But let me quickly tell you, Tinubu appoints governing councils for 13 federal universities and institutions, says Nigeria exiting darkness into new glorious dawn. Again, Nigeria exiting darkness into new glorious dawn. That's on page 2. Majority of Nigerians not benefiting from fuel subsidy. Edo says federal government spends $600 million monthly on commodity import. Details of that on page 6. Now, APC, weak institutions slowing down renewed agenda reforms. It's on page 3. And Nigeria presently under, well, that says enough or some story there. We don't want to be alarmist, so let's be positive. I mean, that's my perspective, Victor.
All right, let's get to the leadership newspaper this morning. Above the nameplate, West African defense chiefs insist on civilian rule. And beside it, bureaucracy behind delay in our 50% salary slash. That's according to House of Representatives. Both stories are on page 7. And the major headline here is, hunger protests, FG warns against foreign interference. Raises the alarm over inflow of illicit weapons. Emir Sanusi warns youths against vandalism. Northern groups seek amnesty for arrested protesters. Kaduna 24-hour curfew still in force. Bauchi relaxes curfew on Katagum. And then beside, to the right of the front page, Ugo Chinyere denies bribing speaker to chair House committee. That's on page 8. Senate queries $1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt refinery. Page 7. Fuel queues persist in major cities. Page 27. And FEMA begins CNG conversion of operational vehicles. And that takes us to the front page of the Daily Sun, which leads with the headline, Twists in oil sector probe. Senate, reps flout own rules as questions over $1.5 billion expended on Port Harcourt refinery gains steam. Okay? And then you have that picture story of ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense, which is chaired by our own General Christopher Musa. Nigeria's fuel consumption figure unknown. That's according to Edun, who is finance minister. Page 23 spends $600 million on imports monthly. Protests. FG insists there was foreign interference. That story can be found on pages 6 and 26. Army admits use of live bullets on protesters. Okay. And on the right side of the front page, PDP, APC trade words over alleged plots to cause mayhem in Edo, page 28. NLC lambasts government over handling of end bad governance, sets dates to mourn victims of protests. That's on page 26. Confusion in court as two lawyers appear in suit, seeking Rivers expenditure shut down. Page 5. Reps, no rift between Abbas, Benjamin Carlo. Ugochinyere denies paying $1.7 million for chair panel appointment. That story is on pages 26 and 27. Chooks the boy.
Yeah, Victor, let me quickly say that on a positive note, if the FG says the worst is over concerning, the hardship protests, that is actually the messaging that should go out. It's the reality of it we want to push on and on, in the sense that we want it to really become what the situation is. I feel that the worst is over, in the sense that if you say that import duty on edibles, let me just call them edibles, have been dropped, definitely that is going to drastically drop the price of things. So if we can retain that for some time, yes, we are going to lose revenue. But you see, the social cost of insisting on revenue while hungry people are there wanting to unleash mayhem is something you don't want to contend with. In life, you win some, lose some. The situation determines how you act at a particular point in time. But there was something you read. If you look at what happened in the South and what happened in the North, the killings mostly, if not strictly, happened in the North. That means that the attitude of the protesters there maybe was more severe. And that would have something to do with seeming gullibility by youths over there, arising from certain things society has denied them. If you think in the area of education, people are still saying that the Almajiri need to be rehabilitated, educated properly. Many of them are easy and ready soldiers for situations like this. A country that wants to preserve its own life like an organism would always do, according to biology, would not look away and leave such people to just exist like that. It's just like the recent creation of the Ministry of Livestock. Some people are saying certain things which I consider petty. If we develop livestock to its real potentials, it's a major foreign exchange earner. Let nobody get petty about it. Same way, if we make sure that youths of this country are adequately catered to their needs and all that, you're helping the larger country, really. Nobody should leave themselves open to petty thinking in matters concerning preservation of the life of a country. So let us all think positively towards lifting one another.
Chukwu,
Yes.
society is stratified. So each different levels have different, perceptions and perspectives to issues, and there are bound to be those who will interpret, things differently.
Yes.
In this paper, what the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, is saying to the diplomatic corps during the meeting is that, look, Mr. President was well aware of the after effects of subsidy removal, and he did say so. And here he said, the president did not come to office to cause hardship or make life difficult for Nigerians. That is obvious. I mean, no one would deliberately, assume that's, that power
Exactly.
to inflict hardship. That would be, I'm sorry. I mean, that would be unimaginable.
And
So-
he's not that kind of person.
Yes.
He's not. I haven't come here to become one of his spokesmen.
Absolutely.
But I'm telling you what I've always believed about the man.
We're just telling you
Speak
the reality.
honestly.
The reality.
Yeah.
So, but what the minister is trying to let us know, one, that what has happened, the hardship, was not a deliberate act.
Yes.
It was as a result of policies put in place to address,
In the long term.
in the long term,
Which will have short term,
effect, and that the government is addressing. And we know yesterday when we talked about the receipt of the food items,
Yes.
coming from the suspension of import and tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
So when that does come, we're hoping to get some big relief.
Claire,
So, like you say-
those of us who are journalists, we have a diabolical sense of humor. If I were close to the State House now, I see Mr. President, you know what I would tell him? Hey, me loco, work don't come, are you ready? We're behind you. The man prepared for this role, get that straight. He said, hey, me loco. He didn't say me loco because he's going there. The man is well fed, he's comfortable. He is somebody who believes that he has something for this country. But people would like to interpret Emi Loco in a different, in a way that is self-serving.
In any
You understand?
case,
So let's be positive.
Just before
Support him. Yes.
Just before we let you go, Senate is querying the $1.5 billion already spent on the Port Harcourt refinery.
Yes.
Now, why I'm drawing attention to this is that the date keeps coming, renewal of dates when the Port Harcourt refinery will begin to function again, which will help solve some of the problems that we are talking about.
Victor, what I'm surprised about is that severe action has not been taken about the NNPCL and all that. I don't want to go too much into it. You can't keep on promising people something. You stay intact where you are. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know why time
At a
flies.
stage, you have to make a point, find out who really is behind those refineries not working.
Chukwudi,
The promise that the four of them would work.
Chukwudi, tomorrow we ensure that really, we will make our reviews shorter to give you enough time to really speak to some of those issues. We do apologize.
Yeah. No, it's okay, my
because,
dear.
We run out of time. In fact, we could hear the producer.
Let us help our
Yes.
country.
So
It
please,
needs us now.
Thank you. Thank you, Chukwudi. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's take a short break. Please don't go away. Hang on. Get a cup of tea and we'll be back.